Hello everybody, welcome to UKPM Survival and Outdoors here on YouTube, and in this latest UKPrepperman video we're going to be going for a little walk. Stay tuned. Wow, you can live in a place for many years and not realise what is on your doorstep. Fantastic. Welcome friends, hello YouTube, and yeah, you join me on my allotted exercise for today. The thing with this lockdown at the moment is that you're not allowed to make non-essential journeys or travel out, though a lot of people are going out to parks, the beach and all that sort of thing. It's really not a good idea, but you are allowed to go out and get some exercise. So I thought I'd take you with me. Gives me an opportunity to do a little bit of an update on the channel, and I thought we'd just have a quick brew. I've only come with a few things with me, nothing but the bare essentials of course, and we'll have a coffee, we'll have a bit of a sit down and a bit of a chat. So let's find somewhere to sit down, eh? Can't beat a brew, can you? It's nice to be out. Yeah, so the lockdown at the moment, meaning that you're not really allowed to go out and do non-essential journeys, travel. So, you know, it does mean that, the camping and that side of things, to state the obvious, is not happening. But, you know, there's nothing to stop you from getting out and enjoying a bit of fresh air, getting some exercise, you know, and seeing a little bit of scenery, all right? So I hope everyone's well, I hope everybody's happy, and I hope everyone's coping, because this is, you know, it's we've moved on from the stages of the outbreak and the self-isolation and the quarantine, and now you know, the lockdown, and now we're into this sort of thing called furlough, which is, you know, for anybody who's watching this from overseas, I don't know if you're getting something similar, but in the UK we have this thing called furlough, which was brought in by the government, and it basically means that employers can lay workers off and pay them, you know, 80% of their wages. The employers get that back, but from the government, and you know, I think it saves people getting let go en masse, and obviously that's, you know, that's a big help. So I don't know if anybody's under furlough at the moment, but you know, that's one thing that's going on at the moment for a lot of people. One thing that I've been finding, you know, that's been good for me is to be getting some jobs done around the house. You know, dead important, while I have the time to get things like the repairs done that, you know, needed to be done, get the veg garden sorted out. Anybody who follows me on Instagram will see that I've been getting all the wood, you know, treated, stained, and, you know, the veg seeds planted, onions in the ground, fruit trees tied up, and all that sort of thing. And, you know, that now is the time really to get those sort of jobs done, I think personally. And the other thing is getting things like the preps done as well. So, you know, things like tools and, you know, other preparations and preps need to be checked through really, and made sure that everything's you know, okay. So things like knives and axes are, you know, oiled, greased, made sure that, you know, they're not gonna, things aren't getting used as much, you know, and that's the truth. You know, I've come out today just with a, you know, a small backpack and the bare essentials. You know, I can't really sort of go out into the woods with a tarp and, you know, everything else, you know, and bash it up and you know, have a camp. You know, you can't do things like that. So it does mean that you know, certain things aren't getting as much use as they you know, as they should do. But, you know, all these little things that needed repairing, you know, I'm sitting down and getting those done. You know, it's amazing what you can get done. The other thing is we've been doing a lot of I don't say rationing ourselves, but we've been being very economical with our cooking, because you know, it is tough, and it's not just tough in terms of, say, finances for people. It's about, you know, physically going out and getting this food, because the supermarkets are open, but they quite often have queues, and although our local supermarket has pretty much everything in, it has less of. and I think people are being more responsible, this rushing out and buying and grabbing, rather than sort of doing a structured stock up of things, in advance. I think that has now stopped, and people are being a bit more sensible when they're buying things, which means that there is less problems. But back to the preps, yeah, good opportunity to get things sorted at home, get things squared away, tidied up as well, and that's the big thing: keeping busy, keeping active. And I've had my bike out, and I really didn't use it much, which is a bit of a waste. But I've had the opportunity now to to go out and get some exercise on that. Got it out, and the first thing that's had started to fail was the gears, and probably through lack of use and lack of service and lack of attention to detail. So for anybody who knows about bikes, it's a thing called a rear derailleur. Basically your gears, everything was just seized up, so I stripped it down, I degreased it. It needed adjusting, it needed greasing, and I suddenly thought to myself, when was the last time I actually serviced that bike? And then I took it out for a bit of a ride, and you could hear various things creaking, and nothing felt very great with it. So it was back to the shed, and opened the tools, and I gave the bike a full service. And some parts I've had to sort of order, because I realised that I hadn't got any parts for that. So this is what you can think, you can sometimes do. Even people who prep make mistakes, and that's one thing, is if you don't use an item, sometimes you forget to get parts for it. So I ordered, sometimes on some of the parts, which I think I'd use more of, I ordered a couple of sets, and then I've always got them one in when I do change it. So that's a good opportunity. While I was in the shed, I got everything organised in there as well. Basically, just everything really tidied up. I think it needed doing. There are loads of jobs that needed doing in the house, so I got on with those. And the car, well, the car isn't getting much use. I've never known the car do so little miles. It's basically going out once a week to do the food shopping, and then what I'm doing is I'm giving it a bit of a run before. So okay, you could argue it's non-essential travel, but I think, to be fair, I'm not taking the P with it. I'm going out, I'm doing the job, but I'm taking it out for a bit of a run, just about a 10-15 mile round trip. So it warms the car up, it gets the car moving, because last thing I want the car to do is start to have problems through lack of use. For us, we've still been continuing with a standard shop, and I think this is the thing: you have to sort of still buy things and then rotate them back in. And the reason being that we don't think things go out of date. Tins will last indefinitely, but some goods, won't last. Maybe last, a few months, and it's those that you need to be sort of using and then replenishing. There was a thing that I put out on Instagram the other day about the chicken, and £5 chicken, I think it's £5.30 in the UK. So I don't know what that is in America, around about $7 or $8 maybe. It's free range chicken, good quality. We made a Sunday dinner out of it. Then chicken korma, in mind this is for a family. And then there was, with all the bits that were left over, so the carcass, the bones, the skin, the bits you're not going to eat, boiled them all up with a bit of leftover vegetables, and we made a stock. And I've got about 2 pints of stock, which I can freeze, put it in the freezer, get it out and use it again. So it really has sort of lasted well, which is really good. In terms of the fitness side of things, I have been trying to eat healthily. It's very, very tempting just to go for quickness, but I think the fact is, as I say, going to the supermarket and buying the staples and making the food up, hey, we've got the time to do it, so we might as well. The channel, yeah, UKPrepperman. I'm toying with the idea of whether or not I'm going to do a separate channel or maybe separate playlists of things. I think the idea is I'm going to sort of split the channel, and it's going to be sort of for the people who are very into the prepping and the EDC and the gadgets and the preps and the planning and all that sort of thing, for if SHTF occurs or has occurred or will occur, that side of things. And then you have the outdoors side as well, because I do a bit of hill walking, obviously I do the camping, I do the prepping, and I think, to be fair, although there is sort of a little bit of synergy between all those type of things, realistically there's also, you know, a clear line between it, so, you know, maybe the prepping should be over there and the camping and the hill walking should be on that side of things. Also, thanks very much to everyone who is subbing and commenting on the videos. I had a comment, it was actually a DM on my Instagram from Zach. Hi Zach. Zach asked me if I was planning to do a video about a survival cache. Good suggestion. There is one on the cards for that. You know, if anybody wants to see a specific video, any topic or anything like that that's relevant to, you know, what I'm doing, then, you know, please feel free to, as I say, put a comment in there and I'll see what I can do. So I thought I'd just check in and give you a little bit of an update, and I'm going to finish my brew and then carry on having a bit of a walk round. So I will see you in a bit. Afternoon. Morning. Don't panic, I'm not going mad and blogging. I'm not some crazy person, don't worry. So there we have it. Hope you've enjoyed this little video. As I say, you know, it's nice to get out and about and at least get some fresh air and exercise. You know, even in, you know, when times are like this at the moment, you know, can't be sitting indoors all the time. Got to get the fresh air, got to get the exercise. Just remember, obviously, sense and sensibility, okay? Remember, of course, you can always follow me on Instagram, where you'll see updated content. And if you've enjoyed this video, hopefully you'll like these videos as well. As always, please like, share and subscribe at the bottom. Any comments, love to hear them. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now.